Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Nicolasa. She has just released a fantastic new track. It's called Texas Sun. I'm super excited to talk to her all about it. I want to thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? What's going on?
Hola, y'all. Yeah, I just got off a flight and really stoked to talk with you today.
Nice. What's the plan for Florida?
So my brother lives on here.
Okay.
He's a Green Beret. And I was like,
Nice.
what better way to celebrate the 4th of July than with my brother? And I hadn't seen my niece in a while, so he's supposed to take me on a boat with some of his Green Beret friends.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. That'll be fun. What part of Florida?
Destin.
Okay. No
Yeah,
idea where that is on the map of Florida, but I trust it's near a
I
body of water.
So just think about like the craziest spring break destination you can have, but it's died down recently because everything was like really
Sure.
crazy.
Okay.
That, yeah, that's what it is. But the beaches are phenomenal, like white sand. It's really pretty.
Nice. And to perfectly segue into the song, I feel like your song is kind of just the perfect summer track. When you were, creating the blueprint for it, was that always the plan, or did it kind of just end up that way?
Yo, I get really bad seasonal like depression, and
Uh,
that's when I wrote it. It was like in December of last year. And
yes.
I was like, I need the sun because I originally moved back to Texas from California after living there for like 5 years. And I was like, I'm here and the sun isn't out. Like, why is Dallas like so cloudy right now and cold?
Right.
Yeah. And then I wrote the song and I was like, I need to manifest the sun. And then that week the sun came out.
It was meant to be. I
Yeah.
find that to be pretty common though. So many summer tracks, they're not written in the summer, but they have the hot weather in mind. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that it was, yeah, I mean, yeah, I listen, seasonal depression, very real thing. Totally get it. But no, this song fully pulls you out of it and kind of brings you into the joy of summer. So I love that. And it turned out great. Now, a problem for me though is even though I'm a California native, my Spanish is quite terrible, even though I'm actively learning. And
Yeah.
part of the song is sung in Spanish. It's an, English Spanish hybrid. Can you
Mhm.
kind of break down the lyrics of it all? Like what inspired the song? What's it all about?
Yeah, for me, one of my biggest inspirations since I was younger, and I'm a hella Scorpio. So Sylvia Plath, she's also a Scorpio. So I
Okay.
really like my lyrics to be very poetic. So it's a very poetic kind of nod to how I really wanted to be in the sun with a woman eating her sacred meat, and take that as you
Okay.
will.
Yeah. I
In
mean,
the dead of winter, like I need to be in the sun with a baddie eating her sacred meat. And
I
I'll,
feel the exact same way. Truly.
yeah, like moving back to Texas, I had to kind of realize, born and raised there, there's a lot of different things that go on in California versus Texas. And
Yeah.
going through the motions of like, I have my full identity now that I'm fully just blossomed into who I am. But
Yeah.
coming to Texas, there's still those kind of red, feeling a
Oh
little red,
yeah.
making you feel blue, you know?
No, I completely understand. Like, no, really, like there are just bubbles of the US where that type of thing doesn't fly and you kind of have to keep to yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it must be really difficult. And I feel that maybe the music side of it can kind of be where you can not necessarily a diary, but just kind of get your message out in a way that people can lean their head on and kind of tap into.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I take my music. Like music has always been like a very cathartic release for me.
Yeah,
That's why I always talk about Sylvia Plath. She's a little out there, but
sure.
I her like poetry and how she kind of lays things out for sure.
Nice. Now another thing that I would recommend for anyone who's going to listen is listen with a nice pair of headphones or a sound system because the production on the song is fantastic.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're welcome. You operate as a solo artist, at least in the name, but how does it work on the back end of things? Like, do you work with a producer? Do you have a team behind you? What's it all kind of look like?
Yeah, I fully produce everything myself.
Nice.
Yeah, I do have an engineer who, if you hear all of those like really crazy things, that's my guy.
Okay.
But I feel like collaborating with him has also opened up a lot of other things to the song. Just hearing how synths could be like transformed into sounding way cooler. Even keys, you can like raise everything on it. So yeah, I'm a fully producer like myself, and I think that's really
Awesome.
important for women to be more producers like in the
Yeah,
industry. Like I had talked to a bunch of people in the past who were male producers, but I had never met a female producer.
sure.
And that's just my personality. Like I went to California as a Latina and got in the tech world, and I was like, okay, fuck that. I don't want to do that anymore. And then
Get
made
it.
yeah, and then made music, but there was no women in the space. So that's what
Sure.
I'm really hoping to inspire other women to do is like be producers, be in your creative feminine energy, and just be the badass that you can be
That's
and
awesome.
dominate like a really male dominated industry.
Oh, 100%. Even, yeah, on the management side, on the PR side, it's just, yeah, dudes take over. And it sucks. Speaking as one, it's rough. It's rough out there. I think on the production end though, it becomes a little more difficult because, you know, regardless of gender, having a producer is kind of like having that person that's the second half of your brain. They put together what you can't because you technically can't.
Mhm.
I urge, listen, I have the opportunity to talk to so many independent artists, and I see so many people leaning towards learning the production themselves. It's like learning another language, you know, whether it's YouTube videos or tutorials or taking workshops or whatever it is. The only person that can fully get that sound out can be you, unless you can let that person into your brain. So listen, I respect you for learning how to do it, but also it's going to take you farther because it's something that you constantly have to work on to get better at.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm like a sponge. I have ADHD, so I'm
Nice.
always like onto the next dopamine thing.
Sure.
Um, and that's what music gives me and producing too. Like it's something I can always keep learning. And it
Yeah.
keeps my in for sure.
100%. Another thing I noticed about the song is that it really does pull from a lot of different genres. There's so many different sounds and styles and this and that, which in my opinion is great because it casts a wide net for the type of person that might enjoy it.
Mhm.
What are you calling it though? If you had to describe it to someone, like what's the pitch for it?
Yeah, so Tejana house.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a proud Tejana, which is like Latina, Mexican,
Yeah,
indigenous
yeah.
and from Texas. I have Apache, Diné, and Mexican ancestry. So being Tejana really represents that for me. And
Nice.
house music would, okay, so raves were the only place growing up because I'm literally neurodivergent that I felt like I could truly be myself all the time.
Yeah.
So for this Texas Sun song, I wanted to merge like rave culture and Tejana culture together, which is
Very
the
cool.
yeah,
I mean, now knowing that, it fully makes sense because the song does kind of take you on a wave. It
yeah,
doesn't stick to one thing, but that's what's exciting about it is
yeah.
that like it's not your stupid boring, you know, top 40 pop track where it's like, you know, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, blah, blah, blah. Like there
Yeah.
is enough that keeps you interested and it just sounds so crisp and clean. Like you really did nail the production on this, I have to say.
Thank
Um,
you. Yeah.
yeah. In terms of experimentation, though, are you the type of person that's always looking towards the next thing, sampling, demoing, you know, kind of just keeping things in your back pocket?
I'm really trying to make Texas a rave place. Like growing up in
Okay.
DFW, Austin, like I know the spots. Lizard Lounge, if you know what Lizard Lounge is, you're a real one. But they closed it down when COVID happened.
Yeah,
And it was like the place I grew up going to raves to see like a bunch of underground artists who are now huge now. But
sure.
I really want people to know that the South raves too. So that's kind of what I'm sticking to, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, listen, like the only reason I've ever been to Texas was to either visit family or go to Austin city limits, which tends to lean more like rock and country kind of. I haven't
Mhm.
experienced, you know, the EDM culture, the rave culture there. So we need people like you to bring us Southern Californians over there to prop it up. I love
Exactly.
that. Totally. In terms of the actual process of you making music, how does it start? Do you sit down and actively try to make it? Does a beat come to you while you're driving? Like, what does it look like in your head?
Yeah, I love how you asked me what does it look like in my head. I have synesthesia. I had no idea
Oh,
what that
so
was.
jealous. So
It,
jealous. Seems like the coolest thing.
yeah, it's debilitating sometimes. Like
Ah,
growing up
yeah.
growing up in Texas, like again, it was a struggle. I'm glad that I had like the education that I did, but going to California is where I would tell people like, oh, this song tastes kind of orange, or like this looks like a triangle and is kind of pointy. And they were like, I think you have synesthesia. And I'm like, what?
What is that word?
Yeah,
For real.
I had no idea. I would tell my
Yeah,
friends, like I'd show them new songs or like playlists when I was younger, and I'd be like, this is an orange song. But I guess that's where I start. I'll start with like a mood or a color
hmm,
and a shape, and then I'll kind of go from there. And
okay,
then if I use Ableton, so I'll kind of mess with like the way that the sound wave is and kind of focus on like the shape and of how I want it to be.
right,
Um, and then I'll get some jazz cabbage or the devil's lettuce and just vibe out.
obviously.
Yeah. And just vibe out. I
Nice.
have a really big need for my space to be cool too. I'm in my brother's house, but like my normal
Yeah,
lighting for me, colors, like I have CDs all on my wall, like I've decorated. I'm a Libra, so everything has to be like aesthetic and just get in like a vibe.
nice.
Texas sun, like I said, I wanted to be in the sun with a girl, you know?
Listen, you got to project and manifest what you want. So
Yeah.
why not write a song about it? Totally understand. In terms of actually making the music, was there like a singular point in your life, or I guess, a series of things that happened that you were like, I think I want to make music. I think I want to try this out.
Yeah. Um, I would say probably like everybody not believing in me and me kind of having to realize like you have to believe in yourself because
Yeah.
people are going to project their limitations on you. And I think
Yeah.
in this lifetime, I'm supposed to fully come into knowing who I am. Um,
Hmm.
and I think I'm pretty much there. Like I know who I am as a person,
Yeah.
and that kind of helped me realize like what type of music I really wanted to focus on. Because in the beginning, I was doing like a little bit of new wave,
Sure.
but my true love, like what I could probably make for the rest of my life, is just EDM type of music. You know, just 'cause
Nice.
I love sounds and mixing and just the whole production part of it. Engineering, I'm stoked to learn more about
Yeah.
because it gets really crazy.
I mean, that's the thing about EDM is I obviously it's fully come on into the mainstream. I mean, even 10 years ago, people were iffy on it, but now it's everywhere you look, whether it's, festivals or just like normal pop artists integrating it into their sound. And for you, I just feel like the options are endless here. You describe the genre Tejana house, which is obviously something I've never heard of before, but just
Hey.
experienced through your music. No, but it's and I'm saying this truthfully, it's something that I didn't know I wanted to hear until I heard it. And I was like, oh, this scratches the itch of something that's actually original sounding. So yes, scratch my brain fully. So that's kind of the thing is like it gives you the options to do whatever you want. And it goes back to the production thing. You're the one kind of like leading your course here in terms of the sound. You make what you want to hear, and the passion comes through for the people that want to listen to it. So keep doing what you're doing. Um,
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. Have you had the opportunity to play any of your music live yet?
Um, I had some of my older songs play, but Texas Sun has not been played anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fully focusing on like what's to come. But yeah, it hasn't been performed live. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, that's fine. Is it something that you like aspire to want to do, or do you see yourself as okay? All right, yeah, you do.
Sure. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because a lot of people are like, I just do this as a hobby, and I feel that I'm more of a recorded musician as opposed to getting out there. In my opinion, though, you have the energy of a live performer. Like, I want to see you on stage, riling the people up, sing them, no, sing them react to your music, because that's kind of the instant gratification that you get from being in the studio.
Mhm. Yeah, I have a Leo Mars, so and Leo midheaven, astrology girls, you know what I'm saying. So I
I have
definitely
no idea what you're saying, but it's
yeah,
okay.
um, I definitely like performing, and it gives me like a lot of hope for the future, for sure.
Got it. Got it. So, we're recording this on July 2nd. Yesterday was the official midway point of the year. What does the rest of this year look like for you?
Creativity and sagrada en paz. Mucha sagrada en paz.
Cool.
But yeah, there's lots of exciting things to come for sure.
Absolutely. Are there any artists or independent artists that you've listened to this year that have inspired you to, make the music you're making?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
think Fred again was one of the biggest inspirations I had because he's just so down to earth.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, very down to earth. And like I said, I'm neurodivergent. So I love when I see authenticity in the industry. And I really like Macklemore too, because I really want my brand to be focused on activism, um, not just like myself. I really
Sure.
want everything to go back to what I stand for, which is like indigenous and Latina, everything, activism. So yeah, and I would also say Peggy Gou. I love her. She's really
She's
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Those
Nice.
are big inspirations for me.
No, I love that because I think as an artist nowadays, you have to stand for something. People don't
100%.
enjoy you. Yeah, people don't enjoy you just for the music that you make. They kind
Yeah.
of vibe with you because of your message and what you stand for. Like,
Mhm.
as much as the music part of it is fun, once you start making a name for yourself, people really look into you as a person. They look for your faults in the past. And it's like, if you're projecting the good stuff, people are going to latch on to that. So I love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have a couple more questions for you. Is there anything about this song that you feel that is really important for people to know before they listen?
Yeah. It is a anthem for you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Um, if that is to be queer, if that's to get out of your parents' house, if that's to, quit your job, get out in that Texas sun, get out and live the
Nice.
Tejana rebel life
There you
and be
go.
your life and nobody else's. Um, so I think that's the biggest takeaway I would want folks to give or like have. Yeah, just do whatever it is that your heart literally is telling you to do. And sagrada en paz.
Love that. Love that. And lastly, where can people find your music? Where can people find you and anything else going on in your life?
Yeah, my main platform that I focus on is Spotify because for me, it's the best for artists and creators.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a hold of Apple Music for like a long time now, and it's been almost like 2 months just to
Oh,
get, yeah, so I don't like Apple Music, but it's on every other platform. It
cool.
should be on Apple Music, but I highly recommend going to see my Spotify because it's going to be very curated with everything that I hope to have on there for sure.
Perfect. And I will say, I don't know anyone that uses Apple Music.
I know.
Not a single soul. And listen, I'm sure it's a great platform and blah blah blah. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
using Spotify for 15 years. I'm not changing, and I don't think anyone else is either.
Same. Yeah. As an artist too, I'm like, they do not have their shit together.
No, clearly not. And you would think so because it's Apple, but they got too
Yeah.
much other stuff going on. Anyway, I want to thank you so much. Please let me take a second and plug everything for you. So, for anyone out there who didn't know, I'm speaking with Nicolasa. The song is called Texas Sun. Obviously, we'll have the links in our article and everywhere else so you can listen and share and follow along and stay tuned for more. I want to sincerely thank you for taking the time. It's been a real pleasure getting to talk to you. I hope you have the summer that you envisioned.
Hey, yeah. I'm gonna go to the beach right now and drink a michelada, and it's gonna be a nice day. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. I
Thank
hope you have
you
an
so much.
amazing rest of your day and
Thank-
I hope to speak soon.
Yeah, te amo chingos. Adios.
Bye bye.